Last week, I put out a video where I read the prologue of Wilshire Boulevard and told you a little bit what it's about. You can find that video right here. Since then, Jean-François Garipé has read the novel, and he and I had a great conversation about it. And, well, you can find that conversation right here as well. I'm very excited about the novel. Wilshire Boulevard is going to be published on May 15th. But for the followers on Indiegogo, well, you're going to get it a little bit earlier. Check out all the perks. The link is in the description below. And yeah, please go check out the campaign. It's been going very, very well. And I'm so thankful to all of you. But in this video, I'm going to read another bit of Wilshire Boulevard. And rather than read to you the first chapter, which is like this action chapter where you see the kidnapping that kickstarts the whole novel, I'm going to read you the second chapter because it introduces the main character, a man named William Severide. He is a hedge fund manager, a very wealthy man. He is the father of the kidnapped victim. And, well, without further ado, here's chapter 2. William Severide's hedge fund is located on 4 full floors of offices in a low-rise building on Wilshire Boulevard. The building, an undistinguished glass-sheathed box, sits at the corner with North Ladue Road on the eastern edge of Beverly Hills. It's a nice enough area, but undistinguished, unglamorous, unremarkable, which is exactly why William Severide picked the spot for his baby. The ground floor is empty, save for the elegant reception area and the offices of security. The second floor is records and accounting. Clerks and accountants and account supervisors who spend their days confirming the trades made and keeping track of all the accounts of the limited partners, that is, the clients who put their money in Northern Cross funds and investments. The limited partners, clients, are mostly institutional investors, insurance companies and pension funds and the like, and they all suspect they are being gently, relentlessly fleeced by the single general partner of the hedge fund. They just don't know how. The third floor of the building is crammed with the equities trading operation, which nowadays mean essentially computer scientists charged with monitoring and coddling and cajoling and psychoanalyzing the computer systems that carry out Northern Cross's high-frequency computer trading. Visually boring and decidedly unglamorous, like all guaranteed moneymakers, the third floor is essentially aisles and aisles of computer servers, with about 20 computer scientists monitoring the sheltered computers, making sure they get all the care and feeding that they might need, while they themselves fail to get enough vitamin D. The fifth floor, the top floor, has the company dining room, as well as a few meeting rooms and a large conference room. The fourth floor of the building, just below it, and William Severide's happy hunting ground, is the bond trading department. It's the most important floor. Chock-a-block with rows and rows of long tables. On each of these tables there are several trading stations. At each of these trading stations there is an array of 6 or 8 flat-screen monitors, plus a sophisticated landline telephone. The flat-screen monitors are constantly filled with price quotes and essential trading information. The sophisticated landline telephones can not only field a couple of dozen simultaneous phone calls each, they can also record each and every telephone call, necessary in case of any disputed trade or any regulatory snooping around. There are no private offices on the 4th floor, not even for William Severide himself. His office is simply one more trading station, which he swaps out and exchanges for another every week or so, hopscotching around the trading floor, invariably popping up next to a trader who has had a lousy previous week's trading result. The traders who work these trading stations are all dressed alike, and in fact they are all alike. Caucasian males between 27 and 40, mostly Ivy Leaguers, half and half Jew and Gentile, men without any talent or curiosity about the world, even though they are all extraordinarily brainy and ferociously driven, not to say cutthroat, all with at least 5 years' experience on New York trading desks before being lured by money to come out to California. Money in the range of $1.5 million base salary, plus year-end performance bonuses in the hefty 7 figures. They all wear dark conservative suits, white shirts with white undershirts, and solid-colored silk ties. The suit jackets can be hung on the back of the trader's chair, but no personal mementos at the trading stations, not even or especially family pictures. In the office, never curse or use obscenities. Never mention how much money you earn, never mention some hot deal you closed, and never ever mention how much you lost. Out of the office, never mention where you work, never mention the boss's name, and never ever break the law, no matter how trivial. The air conditioning is kept deliberately at a frosty 62 degrees Fahrenheit. If you ever sweat while you're trading, you are excused. Excused 3 days in any trading quarter, you are fired. These rules, rigid as rebar, are not posted, never even discussed. They simply are, and they are the extension of William Severide. The man himself moves through the world as if he is his own source of gravity. He bends and warps the space-time around him to suit his needs. He's 55, the oldest on the trading floor by at least 10 years. He's about 6 feet tall and barrel-chested, without much of a neck, even though he's in fighting trim. He's got a full head of hair sprinkled with gray, and the last time he went more than a day without a shave was college. Now he's standing, his arms crossed over his chest, his suit jacket off, his blue silk tie perfectly knotted, his white shirt gleaming. His face is smiling down at a trader who is working his station, Charlie Kramer. Poor Charlie Kramer. He's a sweaty, frightened mess. Curly-haired and overweight, gold-rimmed glasses and fleshy-faced. He had a bad week the week before last. Then last week, the week William Severide installed himself in the trading station right next to poor Charlie's, that week was even worse. Now, William Severide is leaning on the edge of the table with his arms crossed, reading glasses perched on the tip of his nose, leaning forward from the waist to get a better look at the key number on the screen. Unusually for the managing director of a big-time hedge fund, he is his own head of trading. And unusually for a big-time hedge fund, he is the lone general partner. Northern Cross is his own personal private plaything. It has about $27 billion of assets under management, book value. His net worth, according to Forbes, $7.3 billion, plus or minus $325 million on any given day, depending on his firm's trading positions. Net, mark to market, take every penalty because I need it all in cash right this second liquid, a cool $5.62 billion. The building on Wilshire and everything and everyone in it belongs to him, as well as a myriad other properties and assets and people across the globe. He's fourth-generation California rich. He inherited around 0.3% of his net worth. It should have been much more, his inheritance. But old money in California tends to be matrilineal. Most of John Warren Blackjack Severide's holdings, divvied up in various trust funds so as to minimize taxes, went to William's mother, stepmother, and 3 sisters, all of whom received trust funds with holdings in the comfortable 9 figures. Like his 2 none-too-clever brothers, William only got a small trust fund, barely $17 million when he came into it in 1987. The rest he earned. The hedge fund is the source of it all. His firstborn bouncing baby boy, born after he left Goldman Sachs in '89. Northern Cross has been lovingly looked after and taken care of by him every day since. As he laughingly tells his institutional customers, I am the owner-operator of Northern Cross Funds and Investments. If there's anything you want to complain about, I'm the man to see. None complain. They know they're being gently, relentlessly fleeced, but the payoff is enough to keep them quiet and docile and happy. Ooh, what's that? He now asks Charlie Kramer, without heat or anger, just a pleasant indifference. More of my money that you're burning away? Charlie Kramer doesn't know what to say. William answers for him. You bet the spread on treasuries and agencies. And now? 50 basis points. Nope, whoop. 13 basis points. Mr. Severide, sir, I can assure you. Assure me? He asks with a wide smile. Assure me? Charlie, only profits assure me. Up! And now it's down to 12. Mr. Severide, sir, I was sure it would widen. Every point it narrows is $7 million we are losing, he says. Okay, no, I'm exaggerating. $6.83 million per point, he adds, still smiling at Charlie Kramer. And what is the business that we are in? Losing money? Because if losing money was our line of work, you'd be aces in my book. But sir, I have a plan. Man plans and God laughs, he says with a laugh of his own, his arms still casually crossed over his large barrel chest. His shoulders are both exceptionally straight, and from behind, his torso has a model's V shape. No one cares about your crummy little plan. All that matters is results. Charlie Kramer insists, even as he suddenly realizes that William Severide has already decided his fate. Still, Charlie Kramer can't turn off his survival instinct and thus maintain a little bit of dignity. Instead, he says, "Sir, please, sir, I can fix this. I can lay it off." "No one will want to buy this garbage," says William Severide, his conversational voice the only voice heard, as all the other traders are silent, listening, even as they use all their self-discipline not to turn and gawk, open-mouthed and wide-eyed, at what is happening. "But sir, you locked yourself in, like I told you not to do." Another point. Now we're down to 11. Tell you what, if it narrows to 10, you're fired. Fired, and I will have security pick you up and literally now mind, not metaphorically, literally throw you out of my building. How's that, Charlie Kramer has known for a while now, that he is the sacrificial beast, and William Severide the high priest with the knife of this pagan ceremony. He is to be sacrificed with pomp and spectacle, but not for his edification. No, he is to be sacrificed for the edification and instruction of the others, so that the other traders in the firm know, not think, not suspect, know what happens to an acolyte when he fails the high pontiff of this money church on Wilshire Boulevard. William Severide is smiling as he tilts his head up to see the screen through his reading glasses. And, he says, the number on the monitor changes. It takes all 4 of the building's big, beefy security men to pick up Charlie Kramer and whisk him off his feet. He's a big, overweight guy, but they manage. William Severide is there, with every single bond trader standing behind him, as per his order, all of them watching in silence this ecumenical spectacle, as he himself opens the double doors for the security men. They carry Charlie Kramer out of the building and then throw him out onto the sidewalk of Wilshire Boulevard. Literally. William Severide no longer sees Charlie Kramer. He no longer exists in his universe, even though he's addressing him as he says, "I told you I'd have you thrown out. What, you thought I was kidding?" He's looking at the gathered bond traders, staring at them, owning them. "And you boys," he says to his bond traders in a normal conversational tone of voice, "you got my message?" None answer him. None dare. And that, paradoxically, visibly enrages him. His rage, like a sickly radiation oozing out of his very pores, deadens the atmosphere all around him as he adds, in an even quieter, lethal tone of voice, "I asked you a question. Did you understand the statement I just made?" The bond traders, every single one of them wide-eyed and frightened, nod and nod away, none having the gumption to speak up. "Good," says William Severide, though by his face it clearly isn't, "because I don't like repeating myself." Charlie Kramer on the sidewalk behind him is weeping. William Severide glances at him. "Contemptible," he mutters, as he turns his back on the ruined man and walks back into the lobby of the building he owns. He walks through the assembled bond traders who part like they're afraid of him, because they are. As he walks in, an extraordinarily beautiful young woman of about 25, tall and dressed in an elegant conservative business suit, her hair pulled back in a tight bun, quickly approaches him. She is Michelle Dalton, Choate, Yale, Stanford MBA, and she is one of William Severide's several assistants. "Sir," she says, glancing over her shoulder at the bond traders, whom she does not want overhearing her. She leans in close so that only her boss will hear her. "Yes, dear," says William Severide, reaching around her waist and pulling her close to him. He does not care if the people in his office know he is sleeping with Michelle, which he is. At her place 2-3 times a week, and of course during trips out of town. "Sir, the police are here," she says quietly. For a split second, he digests the information. His face is perfectly still, without a single emotion crossing its surface. He is neither tense nor relaxed. Then he releases Michelle, looks up, and says loudly, high-pitched, with a worried look, "The police? Here for me? Really?" He pauses and rubs his chin as desperation and fear seep into his voice. But I dumped those bodies in the ocean months ago!" Michelle blanches, the traders too. William Severide gets into the elevator alone and turns around, facing all his incredulous, frightened employees with a deeply frightened look of his own. Then he looks at them and laughs. "Kidding," he says, as the elevator doors close. On the second floor, the police indeed are waiting for him. 2 detectives dressed in cheap suits and comfortable shoes, a woman and a man. They are in a large conference room that has no personality. Waiting with them is Mrs. Perkins, an extremely thin, officious woman in her late 50s, childless, twice divorced, with a pinched face and thin, perpetually disapproving lips. William walks in. "Will I need my lawyer present?" he asks casually. The young male detective, California blonde and in his very early 30s, says, "No, sir." "I'm Lieutenant Joanna Jones," says the other detective, a woman in her late 30s with a competent face, straight reddish auburn hair, and lightly freckled skin. "This is my partner, Detective Brian Smith." "Detective Smith? And Lieutenant Jones?" William softly, casually interrupts. "I'm going to have to see some identification before I believe you." He's smiling, but he's not kidding. The detectives pause, then realize he's serious. Awkwardly, both detectives glance at each other, then produce their credentials, which they show to William. "Give them to me," he says. Hesitating, they do so. William has no trouble taking the proffered identification wallets in hand and putting on his reading glasses to confirm their identity. He looks at one, matches the face to the picture, returns it, then takes the other, looks at it, face to picture, then returns it. He smiles at them as he says to Mrs. Perkins, "Call Commissioner France to confirm who these people are." "I already have, sir. I'm waiting for his return call," she says confidently to her master, then turning to eye the 2 detectives with the superiority of the favored servant. "But his office assured me Lieutenant Jones and Detective Smith are who they claim to be." "Good. So what's this about?" he says as he plops himself down in the armchair at the head of the conference room table. "And why don't you stand over there, I don't like having to crane my neck." The detectives both obediently, awkwardly move to stand where he indicates, as Lieutenant Jones says, "Sir, are you the father of Catherine Severide?" For the first time all morning, William's face loses his smile and becomes a granite mask. "Christ, what has she done now?" he asks. The 2 detectives eye him. "Nothing, sir," says Joanna Jones. "She's been kidnapped." It's easy for William to hide his surprise. Woo! What do y'all think, huh? Yeah? Pretty cool, huh? I mean, I love this character. He's the major character in the book, and yeah, he's, well, I don't want to give more away, right? Because it's just going to be surprise after surprise, because it's a thriller, because that's the kind of book I wrote. But I want you to check it out. So go to the Indiegogo, check out the campaign, and if you can contribute to it, thank you so much. I'm so excited about this, and the reception has been really good from some of the early readers. Like I said, the novel is coming out on May 15th, but people who are in the Indiegogo campaign will get it earlier. So check it out, And I'll be doing more shows online with other people who will have read the book so that you can get feedback from other readers. So, yeah, I'm so excited. I can't wait for you to read it.